Hey everyone, this is Joe Drogo, Soulistic life coach. Here we are again today. What do real coaches do? And I'm with my co-host.
Hey guys, this is Nina. I am the founder of Metaspire Consulting and creator of Super Virtual Teams and Business Coaching on Demand. We're so super excited to be here with Rick Tamlyn. And I want to tell you a little bit about Rick. And once he gets going, you guys are going to be so interested in hearing more. Rick Tamlyn is one of the first master certified coaches, and he is known for being an amazing leadership coach at the Coaches Training Institute, as well as a leadership leader of leaders. He has created the Bigger Game Expo, and it's a way to inspire executives, leaders, and individuals to get out of their comfort zones and invent the life they want and sustain that life. If you guys ever get a chance to read that book, it's amazing. We recommend it in all of our programs. And Rick loves to froth people to help them find their bigger game in life. Welcome, Rick.
Oh, thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you, Rick. What do real coaches do from your perspective?
Yeah, no, I love your program here because you're kind of doing behind the scenes of what really goes on with coaches, which I think is really important at this stage of the game in the coaching industry. So, well, just a little background. First of all, I was an early adopter, almost 25 years ago now. Took a coaching workshop with the Coaches Training Institute, one of their very first courses. And I was a huge cynic, like, oh, this is a fad. This is going to go away. This is sort of silly. And yet had some profound insights into my own learning, to my own psyche, to sort of understanding the concept of where motivation comes from in this workshop. And here I am 25 years later now translating this and bringing it to the next level. So I think the good news for folks to know right away is that the industry is here to stay. This is not a fad. This is not a flash in the pan moment. The concept of moving yourself forward and talking to somebody, i.e. a coach, in service of creating a great life for yourself is here to stay. And I think there's a key philosophy that I think is the reason why coaching works. And it goes like this: our life moves in the direction of the words that come out of our mouth and the thoughts that are in our head. Let me just repeat that. Our life moves in the direction of the words that fall out of our mouth and the thoughts that are in our head. So a coach comes along and works with a person, myself included. I have a coach. We'll have a coach, by the way, till the end of my life, to keep me conscious and awake and clear on what are the words that I'm talking about mostly in my day-to-day life, and what are the thoughts that I'm having. And I think that's the backdrop of why coaching works. We just need people to come along and support us and help us get clear about what is it we want to create with our life. And over time, week to week, those conversations start to move our consciousness forward and start to actually create the life we want, because we're talking about what we want and we're starting to think about what we want. Mm. And I do believe in the universal principle that words and thoughts create our reality. So there's the behind the scenes of, I think, what a coach really does. And I think the profession was born out of a hunger of...
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I mean, it was born because we were pretty well developed in the therapy world, which is a beautiful model. I'm such a fan of it. Go off and take a deep dive into one's psyche and to sort of understand some of my neurosis and maybe even my psychosis. We all have them. And then we had on the other side of the coin, way over here, if you put it on a continuum, is consulting. It was therapists and consulting, well-developed models. And in the middle was this sort of hybrid of, the word coach came along and said, who do I talk to about the life I want to create? I don't need to be analyzed, i.e. a therapist viewpoint. And I don't want to be told what to do, i.e. a consultant. So this beautiful middle ground erupted called coaching. And I think it's an amazing concept. Again, I said it earlier, it's not a one-time sort of quick fix model. It is an ongoing conversation week to week. And as I said earlier, I'm going to have a coach for the rest of my life because I want to be conscious, awake, and clear about where am I taking my life. So there's a little bit of the philosophical viewpoint of, I think, of why coaching is still around and what we really do. So long answer. I hope it.
No, perfect. Yeah. So, coaching's, as we discussed, coaching's been around for 20 plus years and it's evolving. So what do you think that's evolving into? What's in the space now for coaching?
I think the world with technology and creativity and the ability to bring it into my own life, i.e. I can create a movie on my computer, I can create a song in my house. The ability to create, the concept of creativity is now personalized. Thank you, Apple, thank you, IBM, these technology companies have brought it into our domain. So if that's sort of the backdrop of our world, I think coaching is moving towards the territory of, oh my gosh, as a person, I get to manifest and create stuff that I never knew I could create. So I think we're in a phase of working with people as coaches, like what do they want to create with their life? A different answer or a different question than what do you want to create in your life? I think, and this is what Bigger Game starts to point towards, is what do I want to create with my life? What am I putting out into my world versus what do I want for myself? And I think both are needed. In the land of fulfillment is about self, what fulfills me. But for many people in my world, I'm starting to realize as I talk to them, as they create something with their life, i.e. a movie, they're writing a book, they're creating something and they're going, oh, that feels so good to create that. So I dare say we're in a hugely explosive creative phase. And if you look at entrepreneurship in the technology industry, there it is. People are like, okay, what app can I create? So a lot of my clients are talking about what do they want to create. So I guess the key word in there is the creative phase, I think, as the coaching industry moves there.
Yeah, and I'm just going to spin this a little bit, and as I'm hearing you're saying this, and in reference to the coach, the actual coach, those are those people who are going into coaching. This is really their opportunity to create the life that they want to live through coaching. They're being pulled to this natural self to help heal, coach people. They're in that space of creation themselves, of how do I want to be as a coach? What do I want to coach? What niche do I want to coach in?
Well, let me blend with that as well. I think the key part of that is for a coach, it's got to feel so fulfilling on the coach's side as well. Like when you get off the phone, you just want to be able to say, oh my God, I loved that conversation. That was so, like, I don't know who was coaching who. They were coaching me or I was coaching them. I don't know, but I want more of those conversations, right? It's that kind of richness of conversation, rather than you're quote unquote fixing a problem over there in a person and then, hang up the phone and we're done. So it's really about what's the kind of conversation you want to be having? And I think a coach needs to be asking that. So the coach gets to decide what's the conversation I want to be having. And I think that's a key component, by the way, to attracting clients. The coach has to decide, what do I love talking about with my clients? Then the universe and the world kind of goes, oh, this coach is looking for that kind of a conversation. Good, I'll send people in that direction. I've seen it happen over and over again. That whole law of attraction thing really works. Got it to do. What I think we're really talking about, and I think this is where coaching is going to even more, is having people realize they're a part of the world. We're all a part of this. It's not happening to me, and I'm not completely responsible for it, meaning my world. But we're always co-creating it. Always, always, always. Now that can be a fairly advanced concept for people because they kind of bounce through life with their circumstances and they sort of are at effect, if you will, of their circumstances. And I think a coach comes along, and this is a lot of the conversations I'm having with my clients, to raise the awareness to realize, okay, well, wait a minute, these circumstances are happening. How do I want to be with these circumstances is the first question. But the second question, which is a little deeper and a little bit, a little dicey, a little on the edge, is what was my part in creating that circumstance? Now, sometimes that's like really a distant moment. Like, how could that be, for somebody who was ill? How did I create that? It's a fairly advanced question, and it's not a sort of a singular answer, but it does take the bar up about, I am a part of this world. I'm not an effect of this world. I am co-creating with it.
I just want to say thank you, Rick, for being one of the forerunners in our industry. Thank you for those 5 years and doing what you did. I know you made some hard choices during that time and you were able to sustain yourself. So thank you very much for.
Thank you for noticing that. I think, Nina, I want to say you're the very first person I think that's ever acknowledged that. You know, sort of the pioneer quality, you know, like, and but I really want to have a moment about the Coaches Training Institute. I mean, there were about 12 of us in the beginning who just said, this matters so much. And, you know, we put a stake in the ground and said, let's go for it, you know. So here we are now, 150 trainers later in 25 countries. And, you know, you guys are now the next generation spreading the good news of what a coach does. So thank you for your work too.
If people wanted to know more about you and the work that you do, where would they go?
Pretty simple, online, ricktamlyn.com, RICKTAMLYN.com. There's leadership development, there's relationship work. I like to think of myself these days, you know, I'm in the people personal development industry. And, you know, there's a brand called The Bigger Game that I developed with one of the co-founders of CTI. Thank you, Joe, for a little plugging moment. Which has been very popular. It's a workshop. It's a you know, an online. It's going to be an online program in the next 6 months. It's an expo, sort of like a TED conference that we have every other year. So they can, you know, people can check out what I do online. And I think what I want to say though is it's just so fun to be in the people development business, right? I just can't get enough about what makes people tick. What motivates us. And I think for coaches out there, if that has you by the, like, I love talking about people and what motivates them and where do we get stuck and what do we do about it? And like, if you're so passionate about that topic, oh my gosh, you're in the right industry. You know, welcome, because that's the deal. Just be so passionate in the human condition conversation. That's the only requirement.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for searching on this topic. We trust that you'll know what to do, and we will have some links at the bottom of this video, at the end of this video, like we always do. So we look forward to hearing your comments. Where are you? Where were you in your coaching journey? Where are you with this whole concept of coaching? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Just let us know. We are so excited that you're engaging in this conversation with us. Thanks for watching.